So we've been working on Simple Calendar, we've made some huge progress, but the last thing that we really need for this is to be able to install these views into your Rails app so that you can override them and build your own calendar styles. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to take a look at Rails generators. So I'm actually going to Google this real quick because it's been a long time since I've actually written my own generator. And I know that there's actually a Rails guide on this. So if you take a look at Rails guides, the generators file, there's actually some really awesome stuff in here. And there's this thing called Thor, which allows you to run a lot of command line interface stuff. And it's really useful for this kind of thing because it allows you to write these commands like Rails generate simple calendar install or simple calendar views, like you would do with Rails devise views, for example. And it will look up a generator with that name in your gem, and then it will basically do whatever you would like. So you can have it create files, you can have it edit files, you can have it do all these things. And there's a lot of stuff that Thor helps you do. So I think this is super cool, and we're going to build one for Simple Calendar to install the views. So let's dive in. It looks like we're going to build a file inside the lib directory named generators. So actually, another good thing to check out is if we go to GitHub and we look at devises generators, this is something that I do often, is kind of like look up and see what these other gems do. So notably, this has a file called lib generators devise views generator. So my guess is that this is going to allow you to run that Rails G devise views command, and this directory structure is kind of what you need to set that up appropriately. So we already have a lib directory, and inside lib we're going to need a lib generators directory, but we'll also need a simple calendar directory, I believe, so that we can get that scoped properly. So here I'm going to create two folders, so we're going to use the -p flag to do that, and then we can open up MacVim to create our generator. So let's do edit app view, edit lib generators simple calendar views generator.rb, and we need to grab a couple things here. So I'm just gonna say, let's take, there's a lot of classes in here. Wow. So here we go. This views generator, and that was inside of module devise generators. So I'm going to do sort of the same thing here. Let's make sure that we have this in the right folder, in the right view here. Edit lib generators simple calendar views generator.rb. So we're going to paste that in, and we're going to have the module simple calendar module generators. We're going to have the views generator here. And basically, the way that these generators work is that you define a bunch of methods in there, and it just executes them one by one in the order that you define them. So it's really, really nifty and simple for that. So I believe we can do a few other things, like you can accept arguments and do other stuff like that if you want. And this actually invokes the shared views generator, which we can probably find that class for. And yeah, it includes another module and then a view directory, and that's probably this view templates path provides that. There's all kinds of stuff that it's doing here. So yeah, we don't really need anything near as complicated as they have, so I'm just going to get back to our example here, and we'll look at basically copying a directory from our gem and putting it into the app. So Thor being our our library here that we have access to, it's got all these helpers of how to copy directories, and we basically want to copy stuff from our gem and put it right into our Rails app. So in theory, they've got some great helpers for that. And there you go. It looks like there's a directory command that does exactly that. So we'll see what happens. We just need to define any method here, and this will be executed. So let's say this is copy views. That's what that should do. And this should take the app, let's see, which one? Path to install directory, path to source directory. So this should be app views, I believe. I don't know if we need simple calendar. This should be where it goes inside your Rails app. This should be where it comes from, which should be app views simple calendar. So I'm not sure if we need simple calendar in both of these, but I guess we'll just try it out because worst case scenario, we can just delete those files. So let's do a rake-t and see what we've got. We should, in theory, see this new simple calendar task, and I don't actually see it. But actually, that would be because Rails G is a little different, and it doesn't show up as a regular rake task. So here we can try simple calendar views, Rails G simple calendar views, and this could not find app views simple calendar path, views generator, source root path. That's exactly what we need. Basically, it's saying it doesn't know where to start, and we need to set a source root. So let's take a look at Thor's documentation here and see if we can find source root. Nope, nothing there. Let's go for Thor and source root. And this looks as simple as defining a directory. Let's see if we can find any examples. Maybe we just define it here in the in this section, but maybe there's a shortcut, or maybe there's a source root here. Yep, here we go. So this is a better example. Basically, we're going to set this inside our generator. But one of the things with this is that we want to make sure we go back some directories. So this underscore file variable is available in every single file in Ruby, and it gives you the path to the current file. So actually with views generator, we need to go up one directory to generators, up another, into app views, or actually just we can go up two directories. So we would say this is going to go up two directories, and that in theory should work. So we'd go from simple calendar folder to generators folder with two dots, then to the lib directory. We actually maybe need one more so we get up to the proper thing. So let's try this one more time and see what happens. Could not find app views simple calendar in any of your source paths. Source paths, your current source paths are lib. So we didn't go up far enough. Let's try one more time. And there we go. We actually now are getting an override here, and it's saying, hey, we're trying to copy this calendar file from the gem into your Rails app, but you already have it. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep it? Do you not? We're going to override it and hit enter, and it also copied the other one. So we actually have this override working, and that was it. We had to create one file inside some directories. Because we're using the Rails engine, it knows to load these generators, and it knows how to invoke them automatically because we've created them in the correct directory structure, and we've named them right and used the examples correctly. The only thing that's a little weird is this like giant ... thing that's going on. We could probably do that a little bit better, but this works correctly because we want to work off of like this current file. It seems a little weird though. So, maybe there's a better way to do it. And if you have a better idea, submit a GitHub issue. I would love to see it. So really, that is it. We added the generator pretty simply, and we didn't even know what we were doing at the beginning of this episode, so that's cool. And I bet if we look at, so I just refreshed that page, and I bet if we look at these views that were rendered, we see simple calendars, month calendar rendered 2 times, and that means that it's using the local version inside our Rails app. And I bet if we remove app views simple calendar and we refresh this page again, that it should be rendering the views from inside the gem. And it is. You can see the full long path name that it rendered, which means that we're successfully allowing you to override those inside your Rails app, and we've got all that functionality that we were looking for, and we're pretty much done. So this is definitely worth adding to Git. So we'll add the generators, git add lib, and then make sure that we got the generator correctly. Add views generator for overriding or for customizing calendar views. So that's awesome. Let's push this up to GitHub. And we should be pretty much done with the changes that we really wanted to make to this gem. There's a few other things that we want to do, of course, that are like multi-day events, but this is actually like at a state pretty much with the simple calendar gem that we could release this if we wanted. I think it's worth walking through a bunch of things tomorrow and just making sure that it's ready to go. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to releasing this up on Rubygems tomorrow if that is deemed sort of complete enough. We made a huge refactoring to it. Maybe we should add some tests. That would be a good idea. Add some tests before we release that. But yeah, we've done, in just a few days, we've done a giant refactoring, and we have a much more manageable and customizable gem. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're making really good progress. So that's it for today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.